She walked through streets where whispers of judgment followed her. Yet her steps were quiet, deliberate, unshaken. A 60-year-old woman, her hands roughened by years of giving, her shoulders bowed under invisible burdens. Yet her spirit stood upright, unbroken. The world saw only her poverty, measured her by empty pockets, ignored the weight of her silent struggles. But beneath the worn shawl, beyond the tired eyes, lay a soul worth more than gold, worth more than riches anyone could ever count. Every wrinkle on her face told of battles fought alone. Every sigh carried stories that no one else would ever hear. Yet she smiled, because her heart refused to harden, and her love was the only wealth she needed to survive. She nurtured those abandoned by life, comforted the broken, and shared warmth that no currency could buy. While others hoarded, she poured freely. While others counted, she gave without expectation. She rose before dawn, worked when the world slept, prayed quietly for strangers she would never meet. And in her giving, she became priceless. People passed her by, not knowing that the value she carried could light lives, heal hearts, and remind the world that wealth is not in possessions, but in the spirit that gives without measure. She endured neglect, stood firm through ridicule, and still offered the world her gentleness. Her poverty was visible, but her richness invisible. And in that quiet contradiction, her soul shone brighter than any crown. Her laughter, soft and rare, carried the weight of decades, yet it still managed to comfort hearts. Her eyes, though tired, reflected resilience, memories of love given when none was returned. Her steps, though slow, carried dignity through streets that had forgotten her name. Even in moments of despair, she held her head high, believing that love, patience, and kindness were treasures no thief could steal. She had no wealth the world would envy, no gold to place upon a shelf, no silver lining guaranteed, but she owned a fortune far greater, a soul that gave endlessly, a heart that forgave freely, a presence tea. She woke before the sun, her body weary, yet her heart restless. Each day brought the weight of responsibilities that no one else seemed to notice. Her hands, calloused and trembling, carried burdens unseen, yet she bore them with quiet dignity, never asking for praise, never expecting acknowledgement. Life had taught her lessons in ways that left invisible scars, losses she never spoke of, dreams deferred endlessly, hopes crushed under the weight of reality. Yet even when tears threatened to fall, she chose resilience. She learned that strength is not loud, that courage often resides in the small acts that go unnoticed, in the continued giving. When the world has nothing left to offer in return, she walked among strangers who judged her by appearances, never noticing the depth of her soul, never understanding that the emptiness they saw was only in material things, while inside her lived oceans of compassion, mountains of patience, and rivers of love too vast to measure. Every hardship sharpened her understanding. Each disappointment taught forgiveness, and every lonely night reminded her that true wealth is invisible. She had no treasures to claim, no riches to boast about, yet she carried a fortune that could warm the coldest hearts, lift the heaviest burdens, and heal wounds invisible to the eye. Even in her solitude, she remained generous. She gave to neighbors who never thanked her, to strangers who barely noticed her existence, and to family members who often took without asking. Her love was limitless, her patience endless, and her spirit unbreakable. Though the world may have called her poor, and time may have tried to diminish her, her soul remained untouchable. She understood that life's true measure is not counted in coins or titles, but in the heart's touch, the kindness given, and the love that endures long after wealth fades away. Her mornings were quiet, but in that quiet, she found her strength. Her struggles were silent, but they built a power that no wealth could buy. Her life was simple, yet within it existed a complexity of courage, a depth of understanding, and a richness of heart that would never be erased, even when overlooked. She believed in goodness, even when broken. She chose to love. She had nothing the world desired, yet she possessed everything that mattered in the eyes of a soul that truly understands love, patience, and unyielding devotion. She moved through life like a whisper, her presence gentle, almost unnoticed, yet every step she took echoed with resilience that only those who truly looked could feel. Her life was a tapestry of struggles, woven with threads of sacrifice and endurance. Each day tested her limits. Each encounter challenged her patience. And yet, she faced the world with quiet determination, never allowing bitterness to take root. Those who passed her by saw only a frail woman, a 60-year-old figure walking slowly, hands empty, pockets bare. But they could not see the storm she had weathered, the nights spent awake in worry, the countless tears shed in silence, nor the heart that refused to break despite them all. She bore the weight of expectations, from family, from society, from herself. She gave endlessly, offering love, comfort, and guidance to those who often did not appreciate it. Her patience became a shield, her kindness a beacon, and her silent endurance a testament to the power of an unbroken spirit. Even in moments of despair, she found reasons to hope, small sparks of light that guided her through the darkness. She knew that life would not give her wealth, and yet it had given her something infinitely greater, the capacity to love deeply, to forgive unconditionally, and to inspire without words. She carried scars that no one noticed, pain hidden beneath her calm demeanor. Yet those scars shaped her strength, formed her wisdom, and gave her the courage to continue when others might have surrendered. Her life was simple to the eye, but rich in unseen power. Every act of generosity, every word of encouragement, every silent sacrifice was proof that the greatest wealth was held not in hands, but in heart. People underestimated her, thinking that poverty meant weakness. But her soul was a fortress, her spirit unassailable. She taught that true strength is not measured in force or riches, but in the capacity to endure, to love, and to give endlessly, even when nothing is returned. She lived unnoticed, yet she shaped the lives around her. She gave hope where there was despair, light where there was darkness, and love where there was emptiness. Her life whispered a lesson that the soul, even in poverty, can be a treasure beyond measure. Her hands were empty, but her heart overflowed with love. Every gesture she made, every word she spoke, carried a warmth that no wealth could buy. She gave without hesitation, shared without expectation, and forgave without reservation. Even when the world turned its back, she remained steadfast. She carried the burdens of others as lightly as she could, yet the weight never crushed her spirit. Each act of kindness was a silent rebellion against a world that valued possessions over soul. Her laughter, rare but genuine, could heal hearts in ways medicine could not. Her tears, hidden behind a stoic gaze, spoke of a lifetime of trials, a journey through pain, loss, and sacrifice. Yet she never allowed sorrow to define her existence. People saw a woman of 60, perhaps fragile, perhaps ordinary, but those who truly knew her understood the extraordinary power she carried. Her love was relentless, her patience boundless, and her courage unyielding. She inspired quietly, taught without words, and guided without recognition. Every challenge she faced was met with grace. Every injustice endured with silent dignity. Her soul was a testament to the idea that love can triumph over every hardship. She rose early, worked tirelessly, and offered herself to anyone who needed warmth. She may have had nothing, but her spirit was rich beyond imagination. Her presence alone was enough to light up a room, to remind others that wealth is not counted in coins, but in hearts touched, in lives uplifted, and in love freely given. Even in moments of fatigue, her smile remained a beacon for those who felt lost, a comfort for those who were weary. She showed that a life of poverty does not equate to a life of emptiness, for the richness of the heart outshines any material fortune. She was a woman who had nothing, yet she gave everything. Her existence proved that true treasure is measured not by what one owns, but by what one can give, by the depth of compassion and the strength of love that endures even when all else fails. She breathed struggle, but exhaled pure love. Her 60 years of life were painted with hardships, yet every line on her face, every gray strand of hair, told a story of resilience and unwavering devotion. She gave her all, even when the world gave her nothing. Her love was a fortress, her kindness a shield, and her heart an endless river, flowing with warmth, care, and sacrifice. Every challenge faced, every sorrow endured, added depth to her spirit, making her not just a woman, but a living testament to the power of love over adversity. Her hands, though empty of gold, held the richness of a soul that knew no limits. Her eyes, though tired, reflected centuries of wisdom, patience, and hope. Her presence was a sanctuary, her embrace a balm to weary hearts, and her words, though few, echoed with truth and sincerity. She loved without expectation, forgave without resentment, and gave without hesitation. Her spirit radiated light in the darkest of times, reminding those around her that the most valuable treasures cannot be bought or measured. Even in silence, she inspired. Even in invisibility, she shone. And those who recognized her worth understood that her life, though marked by scarcity, was abundant in ways the world often overlooks. She was my poor woman, yet the richest of all my treasures. She had nothing the world would envy, yet she possessed a wealth that could heal, uplift, and transform every life she touched. And now, as I honor her, I ask everyone reading this to reflect. Cherish those whose love is silent, whose sacrifices are unseen, whose hearts are pure gold, because in them lies a treasure far greater than any riches we chase. Comment below if you've ever known someone whose love changed your life forever. She moved through life with the weight of decades on her shoulders, yet her steps never faltered. The world rarely acknowledged her strength, but every silent act of courage spoke louder than any praise ever could. She endured betrayals, losses, and disappointments, each one carving her spirit into something unbreakable. Her soul became a reservoir of patience, her heart a sanctuary of endless compassion. No one saw the nights she spent awake, wrestling with her worries, yet she faced the dawn with grace, as if nothing could diminish her light. Her struggles were invisible to most, but those who looked closely saw the quiet power she carried. It was in the way she forgave endlessly, loved without hesitation, and gave without expectation. Her resilience was a silent song, a melody that only the heart could hear. Even when life offered nothing, she offered everything. She gave comfort to the weary, hope to the hopeless, and warmth to the lonely. Her presence reminded everyone around her that true strength lies not in wealth or status, but in the ability to endure, to love, and to rise despite the odds. Those 60 years had etched lines on her face and left her body tired and worn. Her heart remained young, vibrant, and steadfast. Love was her compass, guiding every step, every thought, every action. She had witnessed pain that would have broken most, but she transformed it into empathy, into understanding, into a warmth that could heal unseen wounds. Her love was a language that required no words, a touch that spoke more than thousands of sentences, and a gaze that conveyed more than life itself. People underestimated her, judged her by her possessions, or lack thereof. But those who truly knew her understood that she held treasures far beyond the reach of material wealth. Her heart was a kingdom, her soul a fortress, and her presence a haven for those who sought solace. Even in silence, she taught lessons. Even in solitude, she inspired. Her life whispered. She had no gold, no jewels, no treasures to display, yet she possessed a wealth beyond imagination. Her life was simple, her possessions few, but the love she carried was immeasurable. The courage she held was unshakable, and the warmth she gave was eternal. She endured hardships the world cannot see, fought battles no one noticed, and gave endlessly without expectation. Her life, though humble, was a masterpiece of resilience, love, and compassion. To those who look for riches in coin or stone, she may seem ordinary, but to those who understand the heart, she was everything. A treasure, a sanctuary, a guiding light. Comment below if you know someone whose love is priceless and changed your life forever.